In the quiet village of Langxi, tucked away from the world's constant noise, a young monk named Yao was struggling to find peace. At just 10 years old, he was consumed by thoughts of success. Despite the calm surroundings of the temple, Yao's mind raced with fears of falling behind. "I'm not doing enough," he thought. "The world is moving so fast. Everyone else is achieving something great, and I'm just here." He often watched others in the bustling village, endlessly striving, and wondered if he was missing his chance to stand out. One afternoon, Yao sat outside the temple, lost in thought. His small hands clutched the beads of his prayer bracelet, but his focus was elsewhere. The sound of soft footsteps behind him pulled him back to the present. It was Elder Liu, the Zen master, who had watched Yao's restlessness grow over the weeks. The elder lowered himself to sit beside Yao. For a long moment, he said nothing, simply observing the boy. When he finally spoke, his voice was steady and calm. "Yao, you seem troubled. What clouds your thoughts today?" Yao hesitated but eventually admitted, "Master, I feel like I'm not doing enough. The world outside is moving so fast and everyone is always achieving something. I'm afraid if I don't do more, if I'm not always working, I'll fall behind. How can I ever succeed if I'm not keeping up with them?" Elder Liu listened quietly, his expression thoughtful. He gestured toward the temple's training ground, where an old wooden drum stood, weathered by years of use. "Do you see that drum, Yao?" the elder asked. Yao nodded. "It has been struck thousands of times, yet its sound remains clear and powerful. But what makes the drum work?" Yao frowned, confused. "The monk who strikes it, of course." Elder Liu smiled gently. "True, but that's only half the answer. The drum can only sound because it is hollow inside. If it were full, it would be silent, no matter how hard you struck it." The boy tilted his head, trying to grasp the elder's meaning. "You see, Yao," the master continued, "the drum's emptiness gives it its purpose. Your mind is much the same. If it is constantly filled with noise, distractions, and the rush to do more, you will lose your clarity. You will only succeed when you create space within yourself to think, to feel, and to truly see what matters." Yao thought about this for a moment. "But Master, if I slow down, won't I be left behind? Everyone else is always moving, always connected. How can I compete if I stop?" The elder chuckled softly. "The question, Yao, is not how to compete with others, but how to live in harmony with yourself. Imagine a musician who plays a song with no pauses between the notes. No matter how skilled they are, the song will be nothing but noise. It is the spaces between the notes that create the melody." Yao blinked, his young mind beginning to understand. "So, if I never stop to rest or think, I'm just making noise?" The elder nodded. "Exactly. Success is not about how much you do or how fast you do it. It is about finding the rhythm that allows you to create meaning in your life. That rhythm cannot come from the outside world. It must come from within." Over the next few days, Yao began to follow Elder Liu's advice. He started each morning not by rushing to complete his chores, but by sitting in silence, letting his thoughts settle like dust after a storm. He took time to reflect before acting, and instead of trying to keep up with the world, he focused on doing one thing at a time with full attention. At first, it was difficult. Yao often felt the urge to fill every moment with activity, to check on what others were doing or wonder if he was missing something. But as the days passed, he noticed a shift within himself. His thoughts grew clearer, his breathing steadier, and the weight of constant comparison began to lift. One evening, Yao walked with Elder Liu through the temple grounds. The setting sun bathed everything in golden light, and Yao felt no urge to rush or distract himself. For the first time in what felt like forever, he was simply present. "Master," Yao said, his voice calm, "I think I understand now. Success isn't about chasing what others are doing. It's about finding the space to hear my own thoughts, to follow my own rhythm." Elder Liu smiled, his eyes filled with quiet pride. "You have learned well, Yao. The world will always try to fill you with noise. But when you create space within yourself, you become like the drum, capable of producing something beautiful. That is true success, not being plugged in but being present." As they walked back toward the temple, Yao no longer felt the pressure to race against the world. He knew that his path would unfold not through endless striving, but by embracing the stillness within himself. For the first time, he felt free, not to do more, but to simply be.